crisscross applesauce. Good morning, Guam, and thanks for starting your day the KUAM way. It's our starting lineup. My name's Chris Barnett. This is my show, Group Chat, and today we're actually not in trouble, but we're sitting in the principal's office over here at John F. Kennedy High School, and introduce you to a great group of students and their teacher. They recently won first place in the Real World Design Challenge. So it's a bunch of sciencey engineering stuff. And we're going to go ahead and let's just go down the line and introduce yourselves. JFK Islanders, these are the students who won the Real World Design Challenge. Go ahead, guys.
Okay. I'm the coach, and I'm Colette Beausoleil, and the team has been working on this for the entire year. They started in August and finished April 13th, so I'll let them tell you about their accomplishments.
Hello, my name is Chris Murakami, and I was the business analyst in this project.
And I'm Even Chu. I was the project manager for the project.
I'm Vincent Fanathan, and I was the systems engineer for the project.
I'm Owen Camptone. I was the co-project manager and editor of the project.
My name is Naya Chamberlain. My name is Naya Chamberlain. I was the researcher and co-editor of the project.
And my name is Jean Clemente, and I was the project scientist.
My name is Kai Ortega, and I was the CAD designer of this challenge.
Right on. So I guess we'll just start with your coach, and just tell us a little bit about the program. I know you've been doing this, you said about 10 years or so, right?
Well, eight years.
Right.
Yes, Chris. So this is our 8th year, and we were finally successful in completing the project. We have completed it in prior years, but not to the level that this team was able to do. So they did a great job. There were 3 teams actually that did finish it, and they took the first place
Nice.
at the JFK team competition.
That's pretty huge, guys. I mean, I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I guess just tell us a little bit about your project. Now, you guys did a presentation in front of a board, and maybe you can just tell us about the project and what you designed for the Real World Design Challenge.
Well, for 2019's Real World Design Challenge prompt, we're supposed to design a unmanned aerial vehicle, or more commonly referred to as drones, such as like a multicopter or a flying wing that will fly through a city, like a hypothetical environment, where we have to survey plant and then tell the city what the plant health of the vegetations and patches in there are. And then to do that, we went through an engineering process and then designed the vehicle, and then Kai made the 3D models, and then we ran different analyses to make sure that it theoretically works, and then we present to the judges and tell them our plan and how we get it through like a concept of operation type of thing.
Right, and so it sounds like each of you guys had a specific role in this project. Can you, as the chief of it, can you just kind of tell us what your role was, and then we'll just go down the line, and then each of you can kind of share with the audience what you did specifically for this project to make it successful.
Well, seeing as the scale of this is a little bit bigger than our average high school project, my role was mainly in organizing how the project will be conducted into different phases, and then organizing the meetings, and then I guess getting everyone on board, and then trying to just keep everyone on the timeline and just keep moving along.
So for my role, I'm the systems engineer. Basically what I did is that for the physical makeup of our UAV, we had to include components or parts, and what I did was I took different parts and then compared them to like other prices and found the best solution that could fit within.
So you were dealing with the materials that the UAV was going to be made out of?
Yes.
I see.
Then my main role was editor. I worked on a 80-page notebook. We, put in the correct citations, and keeps things consistent and adds some flow. So that was my job.
As a researcher, I was in charge of looking at the competition documents and making sure that we meet the criteria and looking for other solutions for the competition.
As project scientist, I looked into the different components that we put into our UAVs, like the different sensors, and essentially researched how they work, and as well as did some of the analyses of our UAV to make sure that flight was capable.
As the CAD designer, I had to draft the UAV and run simulations for the UAV to ensure that it flies safely and doesn't really have a damaging impact on citizens, when it crashes, things like that.
And as the business analyst, I worked with the budgeting of the operation as well as the construction or the costs to it, as well as working with a certain strategy in order to ensure that we had the right prices.
I've been in group projects before, and sometimes it's a struggle because you have the one or two members who just don't want to do anything, and then the rest of the group ends up pushing the project out at the last minute. What was it like? And let's talk about the chemistry of working together as a group, and bringing these specific roles that you have to the table to ensure a successful project.
I think for, at least in this project, although we did have separate roles, I think a big part of our success was that all of us were willing to either do or help each other in our different roles. So although I was project scientist, I did help, all of us did help with a notebook, all of us helped research different components. So I think that was one of the good things about our team.
Yeah, and the team sort of formed like a partnership with one member or another. We hold each other accountable for the different tasks, so we motivate each other to stay on track.
What was the competition like? I mean, I hate to use a stereotype, but 7 kids from a little tiny island of Guam. Who were some of the schools that you guys were going up against, and what was the competition like?
For when we were practicing our presentations to teachers and different students, one of the main things that they did bring up was that we were from a very small island. So when they would pretend to be stateside judges and be like, what is Guam? What is a Gallade? So we did practice a lot on understanding our culture and where we come from. But for the actual competition, I think it was nerve-wracking at first. But when we realized how much we practiced, because we did repeat that presentation countless times to teachers, to engineers, to students,
Right.
We realized that we were very prepared in the first round. So I think for me, I was actually a bit excited to present. But then in the second round, where we competed for number 1, after hearing how good the other team was, we competed against Nevada. They presented really well. So I think in that stage, that's when the nerves started hitting me.
But was there a moment where you guys saw Nevada's presentation and you kind of maybe had your little huddle and decided, you know what, I think we can do this?
Well, it was the presentations were sort of right after each other, so there wasn't that much time to do that. But I think overall, just because of the team chemistry that we've been building for over the years, we were all confident in each other and the team itself to put out a presentation that will be competitive with the other teams.
And talking before the show with your coach, this whole contest is done to kind of drum up interest and kind of fill the needs of aerospace and stuff. And I think it's pretty cool that we have these public school students who are, not just well versed in it. They're champions. And how proud are you as a coach to? You've been doing this kind of thing for almost 10 years to finally see it. I'm pretty sure every time you go and compete, it's a great thing, but to come away with the top spot, that's crazy.
Well, right, it was actually our first time to go to the competition. We've done it locally, but it was our first time to actually make it to the nationals. So it was a wonderful experience for all of us. And it really shows that these students and students in Guam's public schools do measure up.
Right.
There is actually no gap, and we oftentimes, we're on this tiny little island, right? And we get the idea that, oh, we're behind. And what these students showed was, no, they weren't. In fact, when they finished speaking, when Owen finished with his final line, the auditorium just really erupted in applause, and
Wow.
people were amazed at the quality of the presentation. And many people came up and congratulated them and me on their performance, and it just shows that Guam is right there. They beat China. I mean, to win national was to beat Nevada. To win the international was to beat China. And they had 4 teams there
Wow.
that were strong. And they had a team from the best high school in China, in Beijing. They beat them. So what does that say about the caliber of our students?
That's pretty crazy. What did that feel like? I mean, did you guys, how confident were you going in? And after you pulled out these early wins, how much did that help you guys? And feeling comfortable in front of this, the panels and everything.
Well,
Just pretend I'm the panel. Just pretend I'm the panel.
oh well, the challenge was really fun. Just getting to know each other was the best part, and then challenging China. They had really good designs, and it was really scary. They came up with such unique and creative ideas, and at that point I was getting kind of nervous, but I had to keep ourselves together.
What do you think set you guys' project apart? I mean, obviously the name, the Galiti, I mean, you took that from the culture here. But what do you think in the panel's eyes really set you guys' project above everyone else's?
So when we were doing our first presentation, we actually have additional services to our product, and I noticed when I believe it was John was speaking about it, a lot of the judges were blown away, like their faces were amazed, and I think being able to provide those additional services at a lower cost than our competitors, that's what put us over the top.
So the bottom line was the bottom line, right? Everyone was like, "Wait, they're going to do this, and they're going to save 100,000 more than the other guys, so we'll take it."
Why don't you talk a little bit about cost? And
Right, yeah.
Chris, maybe you want to speak to that, what the ceiling was for the project this year and what you came in at.
Well, compared to the competitors, our cost was 20% of the overall budget, which was $200,000. So compared to other competitors, they had around over 100,000.
Wow.
And because we brought in the value of adding data analysis as well as pollution sensors, it kind of differentiated and gave us more value compared to others, and that might have what attracted the panels more.
I think that's pretty cool because definitely on Guam and in the public schools we're really used to making the most out of having less. So I'm pretty sure to the panel too that was something very attractive.
Yeah.
And your safety features, maybe, Eden, would you like to speak about that a little bit, on the safety features?
Right, and then I'm part of the challenge because you're operating in urban space. The thing people fear most about is, what if it hits me? Or how are you sure that if it's not going to hit my building, hit my car? So to do that, different team members took up different aspects of safety. And for me specifically, I looked into the emergency landing system. And then for that, we designed the drone to be able to autonomously determine where it's safe, where it's empty to land. And we also have a parachute on board and an audio buzzer and also a LED light that will flash right as if an emergency lands.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you guys get to this point? I mean, we all go through that phase when we're, first, second grade, like, oh, I want to be an astronomer. So have you guys always kind of been leaning towards engineering and design? Maybe just go down the line and tell us how you got to where you're at today and who was influential in you choosing this path.
Go ahead, Kai.
Well, basically, I've always wanted to build things and create something that will help people. So after looking through different I guess professions, engineering was one of the top ones to help or allows me to I guess help people and I guess better the lives of others.
Right. And there's a shortage. I mean, we need
Yeah.
engineers on Guam. We need civil engineers. We need all kinds of engineers. So I think it's really great that you guys are on this path. Go ahead.
For me, I never actually intended to be an engineer, or never wanted to be an engineer, and even after finishing this project, I still think I might not want to be an engineer, but I was more attracted to the science behind the project because I want to focus on biology when I head to college. So I think with the project, realizing how much work just goes into a research paper in
Right.
general,
Yeah.
it made me think, of course, about being an engineer, but I think still in the end, I'm not, I wouldn't want to head for that path.
But you know, you understand the process of doing this huge project and this 80-page presentation, and
Yeah.
you're going to use what you learn and apply that to
Yeah.
biology. Got
Of
it.
course,
Go
of
ahead,
course.
As for me, I guess it really is dependent on my personality. Like, I really love helping people, and I love math and science and a lot of STEM things. So I think combining me wanting to help people and all the STEM background, it just made me choose engineering as a profession.
Then for me, my family's like full of mechanical engineers, so I'm just trying to go down their footpath.
Wow.
Their path, yeah.
And for me, I'm a person that likes using my hands. I'm not really a or yeah, not so much of these guys. And
Nerd!
and then back in 5th grade, my uncle was a aircraft mechanic for United, and then he introduced that to me, and I've been interested in that kind of field ever since.
Nice.
Yeah, then I think for me, in middle school, teachers have told me about the field of engineering, but at that time, I didn't really understand what it was then. It was only until like in JFK when I joined the robotics club. I think most of this credit goes to Ms. Bosley for introducing me into the STEM opportunities here. And that's when I really grew a deep interest, and then I kind of just been on that track since freshman year.
I've had an interest in engineering, but because I worked in the business case, I kind of draw my my attraction to more of the business side, so perhaps majoring engineering as well as economics or finance.
Nice. Let's talk about the real-world applications of engineering, and then maybe you could also touch on the STEM program, because that's a part of DOE that's been getting a lot of attention lately.
Right. Well, I think that one thing that this project brings to the community is an understanding that STEM is not just a robot. It's all encompassing, and we get caught up in thinking it's just robots, but it's so much more than that. And
Right.
that's a good hook to get students involved. Like Even just spoke about joining robotics when he was a
Right,
freshman.
because it's cool.
Yeah, but I think we need to look at what is the long-term goal in DOE's plan for STEM, which is ultimately to get more students in that pipeline,
Right.
which means going into engineering and science and all of these areas. And certainly Guam will benefit. And even if these students go on into aerospace engineering, well, they're not going to do that here, but the long-term benefit for Guam could be better aircrafts to service the islands.
Right.
And so when you look at it and take a more global perspective, that if we can get these students out there, they're islanders, and it doesn't matter where they're working, if they choose to work on aircraft that are more efficient, that's going to make life on islands better for
Right.
all of us. So.
And we just got word that Virgin Space Program wants to launch out of Guam, so
Precisely.
I mean, you never know, you could end up
Exactly,
working in
coming back here.
aerospace or aeronautics here on Guam.
So I think the nice thing is it really does push the engineering side, and it shows them there's a lot of writing. You have to be a good writer. You have to work on a team.
Right.
That's what engineers do, and we've gotten support from the engineering community, just tremendous support from the engineering community. They were the largest sponsors for this, as were the mayors and some private individuals. So we're
Nice.
very grateful for their support to make this possible.
I kind of want to wrap this on a winning note, and let's just go through when you guys found out you won, when you arrived on Guam. I know there was a ceremony for you guys at the airport. Let's just talk about the good vibes and what it was like when you guys found out that you won first place. Go, Chris.
Well, initially, I had no reaction. I was kind of in shock. But then as the days went on, it kind of, what is the word?
It hit you.
Yeah, it hit me.
So like 3 days later, you're like, oh my God! Can't believe it!
Something like that.
I think that's sort of the same for me. Like only a couple days ago, I realized the implication of actually winning RWDC. But like at first, when we heard about it, I just couldn't believe it that we actually finished the whole process from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, for me, I think it was about the same. I didn't realize it until like I was just walking around, and then there's these random people just congratulating me. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Asking for your autograph.
But, mine's the same as Vince, and then also in the beginning, I got shocked at first, but then I started getting onto it with hitting me, just like Chris.
For me, I guess when they announced it, I wasn't shocked. Our team, we really worked hard for this, and I felt like we deserved it. But I think, I don't know what else to say.
For me, mine wasn't overtime. The wave kind of just hit me when we went up on
You were the
stage.
screamer, right?
Nobody screamed there.
Because when they reveal who the winners are, you already know who the top 2 is, and then they reveal the number 2 first. So when they said number 2 was Nevada, I kind of looked over at O and I was like, we were first. But so yeah, once I went on stage, the realization hit me, and I was riding that wave since then.
Still.
Well, for me, actually, like after the whole like award thing, I was jumpy. Like even Miss Bose thought I had a little Irish in me because I was doing that little heel click every time, like just walking down
You
the
danced a
hallway.
jig.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
So it's still happiness still flows through me right now, just because of the win, and it's amazing.
Right. And so did you guys scream, or what's the proper way to celebrate? Was it a golf clap maybe?
How did we
How do we celebrate? I think we all did. Yeah.
I don't think we ever had like we did that kind of moment.
Yeah.
You didn't do like a Viva JFK!
I think we all celebrated like individually.
Yeah.
Right.
By sleeping.
Wait, but after,
Finally sleeping.
I think after we had a group hug with Nevada. I think that was our...
And I think just the context of it, because to be polite to the other competitors,
Right
who were
on.
also just really tremendous
Yeah.
competitors. I think it's just an atmosphere of respect.
Right.
And so it was sort of the,
So there wasn't like,
Polite
yeah, Nevada, take that! Now you know where Guam is? Now you know?
right, we could have gladly conceded to Nevada. They had an
Yeah,
outstanding
they
team.
did. They really
They were
did.
just, they were just really.
But you didn't know, you guys won, and
Right,
there was,
and
there was
they-
a prize too, right?
Yes, it was.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I saw it was a $50,000 scholarship for Embry Riddle,
Right.
which is, I mean, that's
For
not-
each student.
Right,
For
that's
each
crazy.
student, right. So $350,000 total on the table.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money. Now, some of the students have already been accepted to universities and have scholarships, so they will not be availing themselves of that opportunity.
Right.
But others are still considering that.
Nice.
So, yes.
Well, there you go.
wonderful.
Well, I just want to congratulate you guys on behalf of our viewers and the stations at KUAM, and we see a lot of kids go off island and do good. Sometimes it's in sports. I really like it when we see things that are more academically related. So congrats, and let's just keep making Guam proud. And I guess last question: what's next for you guys?
Catching up on the work we
A lot of makeup assignments, right?
And the sleep we missed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, so there you go. Again, the championship winning Real World Design Challenge team from JFK, home of the Islanders. Thank you to Coach Bosele. And to the students again, my name's Chris. This has been Group Chat. Hasta adios.